Hi guys, this is Deepthi Malik, your realtor girl, and today I'm here at the head office of Ashiana Housing. So, somebody who works in Gurgaon real estate and loves Gurgaon real estate, I've seen that every project has its own set of takers and haters. But this one project, which is Ashiana Aroham, the latest project by Ashiana, I guess everybody loves it, whether it's the end user, the investors, or the consultants. There are multiple reasons to do so, whether it's the concept behind it or the price point at which it has been launched, and certain other things which we are going to discover and talk about at length in the podcast. To do that, I have with me Mr. Varun Gupta, who's the whole time director of Ashiana Housing. So, I know we can talk about the project a little later, but let's try to look at the Gurgaon real estate market as of now. Some of the developers have claimed that the market has gone soft. Some of the consultants sitting outside the Gurgaon real estate market has also commented the same. What do you have to say about the situation?
According to me, Deepthi, the market in Gurgaon is in a very good state. What I like to always look at is कि supply और demand का proposition कैसा है. Gurgaon remains to be an undersupplied market. Okay, so गुड़गांव में ये हो गया था कि लोगों को लग रहा है कि यार लॉन्च पे ही सब कुछ बिक जाना चाहिए. तो दैट एक्सपेक्टेशंस दैट डेवलपर्स हैव हैड, उसके विजावी लोगों को लगता है मार्केट सॉफ्ट हो गया क्योंकि लॉन्च पे सब कुछ नहीं बिक रहा. बट यही सेम सेल्स ट्रेंड्स में हम बहुत और मार्केट्स में काम करते हैं, वहाँ पर सेम सेल्स ट्रेंड्स आर कंसिडर्ड अ गुड मार्केट. पीपल विल से इट्स अ ग्रेट मार्केट. व्हाट as developers, to me a good market is not just when everything sells at launch. What we want as a developer is not to have any unsold inventory by time of completion. So during construction सब कुछ बिक जाना चाहिए, which where I don't see a challenge right now. The pace of sale is good, and I wouldn't say the market is soft in that nature. Market remains undersupplied. Gurgaon is also, in my opinion, probably the richest part of the country. And therefore, it is getting a lot of also what I would say luxury supply, where quality jobs are very good, incomes are very good, double income households are a large number. So, to me, Gurgaon market overall is in a good state. It's just not in as spectacular a state which it was probably 18-24 months ago. But that does not make the current state bad in any form or fashion.
And I feel that's the basic nature of any economic sector. It's cyclical in nature. If it was rising up, it has to correct somehow, I feel. And I completely resonate 100% with you, because some of the developers, they started saying कि ठीक है हमारा project within 24 hours, within 36 hours sold out claim हो गया. And if they're not doing it in the following projects, then it is deemed as a failure, which should not be the case. Because as a sign of mature एंड इवॉल्व मार्केट की प्रोजेक्ट हमेशा सस्टेनेंस में ही बिकना चाहिए. एंड यूज़र आ रहा है, इन्वेस्टर आ रहा है, जब समझ में आ रही है चीज़ें, देन दे आर एंटरिंग. सो ऑन दैट नोट, people have also said that Gurgaon has seen a lot of investor activity. Investor भी बोलूँ तो mostly like traders, flippers, short term mindset वाले कि आज डालते हैं 25% दे के निकल जाएंगे within 6 months, 1 year. I feel raising concerns, it raised a lot of concerns about end user being priced out. Now what do you have to say about this situation?
So, depends on how you see this. I would say let's look at the resale rental market, right? Where end users are buying, end users are renting, and there is no traders or flippers participating in ready to move in properties. And in Gurgaon, ready to move in properties have continued to increase in price, continued to increase in rent. And I think that's simply because the supply has, as I said earlier, the supply side in Gurgaon continues to remain undersupplied. And therefore, pricing might be high, and some people would be feeling the pinch a little bit as compared to their household incomes and EMIs going up. But that's less to do with, to me, flippers and traders coming into the market. It's more to do with the simple a low supply dynamic in the market. And as long as that low supply dynamic in the market will continue, prices will continue to rise and prices will continue to harden. And that said, I got some data points from somewhere, I don't remember which one of the real estate research companies, where the price of a unit to annual household income in NCR continues to be lower than what it has been historically. So for the same rupee of things, people are buying homes a little cheaper, or home prices are cheaper in a ratio to the annual household income. That tells me things are all right. Second, in that EMIs as a ratio of home prices have also reduced. End users typically take home loans and buy on EMIs. Because of lower interest rates, people are actually paying lower EMIs as well. I don't see an affordability gap at this moment of time.
At least not in our project.
At least not in our projects. We don't see concerns there. I would encourage more people to do what I would call 3 to 5 crore homes. I think too many people are doing 5 crore homes. It's a target that can be served. There is enough. I do believe that in Gurgaon, people who have affordabilities of, let's say, 1.5 to 2.5 crores, they are getting priced out of fresh supply. But there is also resale supply that they can buy into. And the quantum of supply tells me that prices will harden in the future. I don't think prices will soften, and this narrative is not correct because the supply is still very constrained. And talking about the Gurgaon market being very heavy, what I would call trader dependent. I don't call them investors, people who buy and want to play a few installments and trade out and sell to someone else. At Ashiana, we've always believed that we want to build communities. I think we are purpose driven, where we want to not just be in the place where real estate is used as a tool to make money for financiers. I think building homes is a noble profession where we can provide a great lifestyle to people. And that great lifestyle to people can only be provided if the focus of the development is on end users. And therefore, we have organized our company around it, whether it's in the design bit, whether it's being more reliable in our construction, managing our construction speed, or actually not providing any exit or transfer options at the time of purchase till you take handover, simply because we don't want to attract the trader and the flipper community, and we would much rather attract people who are looking to buy homes for themselves. They are a little bit more difficult to service because when you're buying your own home, your questions become very different. There is a huge checklist. You get into minute little things that you wouldn't get to. Servicing those questions, providing for that is a little bit challenging. But that said, we are purpose driven as a company to provide a great lifestyle to our customers, and for that we have to be end user focused.
घर खरीदते हो, it's your dream property. You want the process to be very joyful. ऐसा नहीं है कि जैसे I speak to lot many investors जिन्होंने एक project की capacity थी, they end up investing into 4 different projects without even realizing कि अभी next installment चारों project में आएगी, and then they have no plan whatsoever कि किस तरीके से वो मीट करेंगे अपनी obligations को जो पेमेंट कंपनीज को करनी है, and then they're having sleepless nights. So that's a very beautiful concept कि आप end user को कर रहे हैं. I know it's a little challenging, but as you rightly said that you as a company are more obsessed with end user, and end users are obsessed with the kind of community that they deserve and they desire, unlike investors जिसको सिर्फ एक ही metric चाहिए होता है कि ROI कितना आ रहा है. So that's something really cool, because I was talking to one of my investors and they're like, Deepti, this project is more for end user, right? तो मुझे तो सिर्फ invest करना है. I come from Chandigarh. How does it help me? So I suggested him, correct me if I'm wrong, I said even for investor it's a good deal, it's a good project. Why? Because let's assume if there are 100 buyers and a project, let's assume there's a project A and project B is Ashiana Anmol. Project A, there are 80% of investor and hardly 20% of say end users or long-term investors who are willing until the tail end of the project. And Ashiana Roham, let's assume 80% is end user, 20% is the investor. So in project A, 80% investors, people would want to sell off the units. Market में supply बढ़ जाएगी, price appreciation drive नहीं होगा, इसमें end तक रुकेंगे, तो supply limited होगी, and that's the basic fundamental. तो I think, I hope I made justice by explaining it to the investor. Or do you see ये
no,
project?
I totally agree with you, Deepti. Actually, the trader investor who wants to not hold the property beyond possession, does not want to rent it out or anything. In my definition, they are more what I call capital providers. वो आपको पैसे दे रहे हैं प्रोजेक्ट को बनाने के लिए, और उनको एक उस प्रोजेक्ट में बनाने के लिए एक रिटर्न चाहिए, और वो रिटर्न में पार्टिसिपेट ऐसे कर रहे हैं कि इसके फ्लैट के भाव बढ़ जाएंगे तो उनको रिटर्न मिल जाएगा. बट दे आर नॉट रियली बायर्स, दे आर कैपिटल प्रोवाइडर्स. ओके, तो जिस डेवलपमेंट में एक्चुअल बायर्स आ रहे हैं, उस डेवलपमेंट में लिक्विडिटी, एग्जिट फ्यूचर में ईजियर होगी. सो वन, एक सप्लाई कम हो जाएगी विच विल कम ऑन टू रीसेल. दूसरे, जहाँ पर एंड यूजर्स आ जाते हैं वो अपने दोस्त यार को लाते हैं, फैमिली को लाते हैं. सो रेफरेंस का एक चैनल खुल जाता है वेयर दे गेट इन अदर buyers in as well. Let's say your client who is from Chandigarh, if he has a view that he wants to invest in the property and hold it for a period of time and rent it out, and once it's stabilized and then sell, Ashiana would be a great option to get returns. But if he's one of those who wants to pay 30% and then trade out, whether we are a good option or a bad option doesn't matter because we don't allow it. So the option really doesn't exist.
I'm sure as a part of the management, as part of the people who take decision, it must have been a very hard decision कि गुड़गांव में everything is more focused on investor in terms of first transfer free, in a payment plan favoring the investor कि ज़्यादा payment आपके at the time of possession. I mean, sticking to your belief, sticking to the concept and taking a harsh stand कि नहीं हमें exit नहीं देनी whatsoever would have been very challenging. What was the inspiration behind it?
You know, एक चीज़ होती है, अगर आप कंपनी में पर्पस आपको ड्राइव कर रहा है ना, लाइफ में डिसीजन लेने आसान हो जाते हैं. सो द कंपनीज पर्पस इज़ व्हाट वी कॉल बेहतर ज़िंदगी का पता. व्हाट आई वुड इन इंग्लिश आई वुड से कि टू इनेबल पीपल टू लिव अ बेटर लाइफ. तो अगर आपकी कंपनी का पर्पस क्लियर है, then you ask whether this decision is in sync with that purpose or not. And when you ask that question, this decision is in sync with it. And then you try it out. उसके बाद बहुत कठिन होती, बहुत तकलीफ होता कि हम बेच ही नहीं पा रहे, हम प्रोजेक्ट कर ही नहीं पा रहे, तो बात अलग है. फिर you might go back to the drawing board, but you take that decision. हमारे our flats are selling, customers are happy, then it's not so hard after. When the follow through is also easier. But making the decision of not allowing transfer, I think was also more purpose driven as a decision, a value based decision, and less a market based decision, if that's the way to put it.
Understood. So what I feel is the vision is very well translated into the decision, which goes on to, what will be the features of the project. And hence I feel it makes our job easier as consultant to sell the project, because sadly what I've seen in recent times also, most of the projects are being compared solely on the price per square foot. A project, B project, C project. कौन सा project अच्छा जिसमें price सबसे कम है, which is very sad. I mean, I understand India is a very price sensitive market. But it's not something that you're buying it for a day or 2 days कि आपने ठीक है प्राइस के बेसिस पे you've decided ठीक है कि I mean it's going to a little extreme, but ये होता है ना कि कौन सब्जी वाला सबसे सस्ते टमाटर दे रहा है उसके ले लेते हैं. Sadly, this is what I'm seeing in Gurgaon real estate कि किसके प्राइस सबसे कम है, irrespective डेंसिटी कितनी है, कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है, क्या उनका विजन है, क्या पेमेंट प्लान है, nothing. We're not looking at things, broader scheme of the things, and we're just focusing on one thing कि प्राइस कितना है. Here in Ashiana, when I first got introduced to this project, I was like, okay, exit नहीं है, amazing. This is breaking the stereotypes of Gurgaon real estate. Second, it's purely focusing on a concept, and a concept of kid-centric. So this was completely different. What was, I mean, I want to understand the reason, the inspiration, the vision, the genesis of kid-centric homes.
genesis of kid-centric homes is one also a personal experience of being a young parent. So when we first started doing the concept of kid-centric homes, I think it came a little bit of my own and struggles as a parent, but more than I seeing my wife's struggles. Let me put it this way: she was active more. She's the real parent at home, and I contribute a little bit. But seeing the experience of our personal places, and मन एक switch on हो जाता है when you become a parent, where suddenly you have people for whom you want more than you have gotten. Like, except for children, I think people, like, would like a great life for themselves and everything. But the moment it comes to children, we want to do more for them than we have had. So that became one inspiration. Second, a challenge I still deal with is addiction to screen. My personal addiction to screen, my personal addiction to my mobile phone, and seeing our children also wanting to be on the screen all the time. And the way we thought about it, like my eldest brother says, "Yeah, ये नहीं बोल सकते हो कि screen पे मत रहो." The only way to have people not be on screen is to provide for other alternative ways to constructively occupy your time, and that becomes a little bit of a challenge, and I think that became sort of the inspiration to structure the kind of project we did. A lot of personal passions came in. We love sports as a family, myself, so we got lots of sports infrastructure in. I love to read, so we ended up building great community libraries and thinking of a great reading space. The whole idea became, can we provide a lot more exposure? That's the thing. A lot of it the schools do in India, but schools end at a particular point, and then I see mobile phones and tablets and things sort of take over, and the idea was to reduce that and get there and curate it. Then the next step, so in the kid-centric journey, we started with kid-centric homes. Now we have gotten to where I would say curated kid-centric residences. This is also a journey of evolution, जहाँ पर हमारी design involve की है, जहाँ पर हमारी learnings on operating them have also been evolved. So curated kid-centric residences is also our learning as an organization over the last 8-9 years has gotten knitted into this.
I know we're talking about the recent project which is Ashiana Aroham, and to discover that I was at the sales gallery and मैं वहाँ पर देख रही थी, बहुत beautiful pictures थी, paintings थी, models थे from their science activities. I just want to understand this kind of homes, do they actually help parents manage their kids' screen dependency, or juggling between different classes, and also managing their classwork, homework, and the playtime? How does it really solve the problem at the ground level, like practically?
All of those are done by children at various Ashiana's kid-centric homes. I was also surprised by some of the quality of work that they've done with the age that they've done. And I remember I had taken my family and my 13-year-old son at one of the works that was there. Oh, a 7-year-old has done this, because we had written the age, and he was also really shocked and surprised. So it was so good to see some of the talent. We just had also what we call Kids Got Talent at Umang, and the performances there of the children was also beautiful, and loved it. In terms of managing, juggling, I think what it does is it takes. So there are three sort of things that we bring to the table here. One, we have the infrastructure. So the spaces are built, and they're dedicated spaces. They're designed and thought through. Second, we have a maintenance operations. So we have a learning coordinator at site who organizes various activities, and learning coordinator also further coordinates. She further coordinates coaches, trainers, mentors who come and organize classes here. So a calendar is set, things are made. what it does, therefore, there are two headaches as a parent I see my wife having, okay, a lot, and my children having also now. One is going place to place. So, you have to commute. Sometimes people, commuting itself takes time, so it eats away. Second, it takes away independence from the child. Now you're an 8-year-old, you can't go commute on your own. So you become dependent on your parents or someone else in your family. So this commute, coordination, scheduling, and also this, to me, which takes away the independence of the children and also creates pressure on the parents to do all this, that's just off the table now because it's so easy. Or everything happens at site. You don't go anywhere. So there's no commuting. There is a coordinator who is slotted classes. They're scheduled. They're decided. There is no more juggling around with what to do when they're fitted together. And they are in dedicated spaces which have great infrastructure.
Interesting. So to all the parents listening here, rush to this project. This is going to solve your so many problems, will make your life easier. It will not only take away the responsibilities off your shoulder, it is going to provide you that extended help in terms of providing you the trainers, the coordinators, the people who can actually schedule your kids' plan. And also, for kids also, it's interesting that your parents are not always, up your neck, ki ye karna hai, wo karna hai, and it will actually make you feel independent and empowered to step outside of your house and go explore the passions that you have, the hobbies you have. I mean, it's a great combination for both, I guess. And then coming back to the price per square foot wala debate, because now the market has been reduced to, ki what's the easier way out? Price कम निकालो, density ज़्यादा निकालो, and then sizes छोटे करके, and this is how you multiply and reach to a price point. And then you as a company stuck to a concept, and concept with a purpose. What made you stick to the concept rather than going for an easier way कि price पे compete करते हैं?
So the idea is not for this project, right? We want to be in Gurgaon and do development for a long period of time. And competing on price is a losing scenario. At the end of the day, if you want to lower the price, then you'll have to lower costs.
Yeah.
Okay. On that and that term. And then you'll either compromise on the product or something will happen on that. So we didn't want to play on price. That said, we are very competitively positioned. Second, per square foot se bhi, end users don't think in per square foot terms. Investors might, okay. And I will give this example. मैं अपने दोस्त से बात कर रहा था, दिल्ली में कोई development आ रहा था, तो like यार हम भी देख सकते हैं, so ये आज क्या price है? तो मैंने बोला ये पर स्क्वायर फुट प्राइस है. कहता है ऐसे नहीं समझ आ रहा है, तो भाई कितने करोड़ का ये बता, राइट, बिकॉज दैट्स द लैंग्वेज.
कि मुझे सिर्फ कंपेयर नहीं करना कि मेरे को आरओआई कहाँ पर ज्यादा अच्छी मिलेगी इन टर्म्स ऑफ पर स्क्वायर फुट. लेट मी नो कि बजट कितना है, टिकट साइज क्या है,
बजट कितना है, टिकट साइज कितना है. बिकॉज एक चीज और होती है, आप जब एंड यूजर होते हो, हर एंड यूजर अपने बजट को जितना स्ट्रेच कर सकता है ना, घर खरीदते वक्त स्ट्रेच करता है, और मेरे हिसाब से करना चाहिए. ये मैंने भी किया, आगे भी करेंगे कि यू विल स्ट्रेच योर बजट as much as you can to buy a home for yourself. And the budget doesn't come in a per square foot number. It comes in a lakh number or crore number. It comes in a certain size and amount, and actually comes down to an EMI number for a lot of people, because they will get there. So therefore, there is no reason to do per square foot pricing as such from a customer perspective. We will do our numbers per square foot. We will do our numbers internally to manage our finances, because that is there. But from a customer's perspective, what matters to him is the ticket size and what he gets in that ticket size. And I would also, just on this per square foot piece you talked about, Deepti, one thing I would also clarify. ये क्लब को भी जो ये स्क्वायर फुटेज में रिड्यूस कर दिया है ना, ये बड़ी प्रॉब्लमेटिक चीज़ है. इस प्रोजेक्ट में इतना बड़ा स्क्वायर फुट का क्लब हाउस है, इस प्रोजेक्ट में इतने बड़े स्क्वायर फुट का क्लब हाउस है. यार आप स्क्वायर फुटेज थोड़ी जाके कंज्यूम करोगे. यू विल गो देयर एंड यूटिलाइज द क्लब हाउस for different kinds of purposes, right? So some clubhouses have a purpose of making a statement.
Yeah.
They're grand, okay? So you might have a crazy large lobby, okay? Some have entertainment. They have very good restaurants, bars, and you can entertain your guests. So it's just not the square footage of the clubhouse that matters. What matters is what's inside it and how and to what end you are using it.
Yeah.
So our clubhouses are designed for you to be active. It's not a place where you will entertain guests. It's a place where you will entertain yourself at the end of the day and have joy by participating in activities which will make your life active and healthier. So, so what matters is less the square feet of the clubhouse, but what matters is, do you have an indoor badminton court?
Yeah.
Do you have a good club? Do you have an adequate sized swimming pool? Do you have squash courts? Do you have a good gym? Do you have a good games play area? How are your outside sports facilities? How will you actually end up using the space is far more important than the size of the space.
No, I'm glad to hear that the vision is very sorted. We're not chasing the trends. We are sticking with the fundamentals here. And on that note, let's talk about Ashiana's brand identity, because this brand is unlike other conventional developers. It's not going behind FOMO sales, that you're missing out onto something. The price is so crazy. The scheme is really attractive to the investors. Or how do I mean, it has not seen like exponential gimmicky growth also, if I have to put it. So let's talk about the brand identity. How does it differentiate itself from the conventional brands?
So we are a sort of what I would say a conservative brand. We are conservative in temperament in the organization. So we may not have had what people would call exponential growth. The idea is that we are upscale, high quality, delivery focused, doing less work. So we are more focused on being better than being bigger. So I think the organizations there is to deliver customer on our promises that we've committed, take up as much as we can chew. And I think that's where we sort of sit: reliability, trust, safety of money, safety of emotions. I think that's what we want to do, and our view is that brands are also built by actions over a large period of time,
yes.
And not necessarily through size and
It's
scale.
a marathon, not a sprint here. So
Yeah.
you need to have your basics right, I feel.
Yeah, so you have to have your basics right. And also it's a test of endurance, not just a test of speed.
Yeah.
So I think endurance matters as much. We also like FOMO. I don't think we don't dislike FOMO. There is a lot of FOMO for our projects.
Yeah.
I think Aroham's launch is a sort of a testament to that. There is a limited supply. Because we don't do very large work, that does create FOMO because the supply that we provide is limited. But we are not gimmicky.
Yeah.
That's just how we are.
Yeah, that's quite evident in terms of everything that the brand has to offer, the project has to offer, and the brand has proved itself in the past as well with the project like Ashiana, Anmol, Ashiana, Umang. I was just reading about it and I was really happy to kind of interact with some of the residents and they only had good things to talk about because, it's easier to sell a project on brochure wherein the amenities are more seen as a token. And once the project is ready and people move in, and then they start finding out the problems. But since the vision is very clear, everything has been translated on the paper with much of clarity and strategic thought put into it, I don't think so it becomes a challenge.
Hey, हमारे प्रोजेक्ट्स में भी प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं, challenges आते हैं, हैंडिंग ओवर करते हैं तो कुछ ना कुछ चैलेंज आता है. Okay, what I call teething troubles. कुछ हमारे snagging issues हो जाते हैं तो we would have missed out. कुछ services are not functional fully. We are dependent on external utilities a lot.
But not like very, I mean, at a fundamental level or a design level that you move in. Oh, on the brochure we thought this is something else. It was a full. Yeah.
So that those things will not happen. Again, one when you talked about brand, one of the brand's promises that we have is what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Which we say. So what you see is what you get, and we measure that as well. So we measure customer satisfaction at the time of handover.
Constant feedback, I believe.
Constant feedback at handover. So we have a full system on that. And second, since we do maintenance, even when we get challenges, we get continuous feedback. So we do maintenance of our properties through a sister concern, Ashiana Maintenance Services, which carries out maintenance of these products.
In the game. It's not like you've outsourced.
Yeah, so there is skin in the game. There is a feedback loop. So we get negative feedback, and we also, if we do grossly wrong in the construction, the problem will not go away. We'll have to deal with it. So it keeps in check, and we get lots of inputs through that process. And so एक चीज़ और है, कंटिन्यूस लर्निंग भी है. तो हर प्रोजेक्ट में कुछ गलतियाँ होती हैं, उसको एक प्रोजेक्ट में अगले प्रोजेक्ट में सुधारते हैं, उसके बाद कुछ और पता चलता है, फिर सुधारते हैं. सो देयर इज़ अ कंटिन्यूस लर्निंग एंड कंटिन्यूस इम्प्रूवमेंट एस्पेक्ट एज वेल.
So, and one more interesting difference that I just found out while having this conversation is, you said the clients or the end users get what they see. Unlike कि जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. So that's also one of a beautiful, interesting differentiator.
But you can manage with that, right? I don't think you have to the heights that we will have in our show flat and the height that you will get in the actual flat will be the same. Even the show flat is in temporary construction. If there is a beam jutting out or a column jutting out in the rooms, we will ensure that that's
also there in the actual flats.
That which is going to be there in the actual flat is actually showed in the show flat. So we do that, and I don't think it makes that big of a difference. People, they still buy, and once they know, they have that confidence, because sometimes एक चीज़ ये भी होती है, लोग फ्लैट में जाते हैं और अगर उनको बहुत ज़्यादा ओवर द टॉप लगेगा तो एक शक भी हो जाता है कि यार ये दिखा तो ये रहे हैं, एक्चुअली में मिलेगा क्या. सो देन पीपल स्टार्ट डिस्काउंटिंग. यू डोंट हैव एनी कंट्रोल ऑन वो क्या डिस्काउंट करेगा. आपने लेट्स से 20% एक्स्ट्रा दिखाया है, लेकिन अगर वो 30% डिस्काउंट करने लग गया तो देन यू आर एक्चुअली इन अ
you can't control what they're thinking.
You can't control what they're thinking. But if you have established trust कि यार हम आपको जो दिखा रहे हैं वही देंगे, तो then उनको
your job becomes easier.
हाँ, job becomes easier because customer is not discounting anything that you're saying. They're believing what you're
Maybe
saying.
they're then only thinking कि price में कितना discounting होगा. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm happy to know कि जो concept है that is very strategically driven है. हमारा concept भी purpose, everything is very nicely thought about and very carefully curated. Now let's talk about the location. Location के पीछे क्या thought process था कि sector 80 में हमें क्यों? Because I personally really like sector 80, but I want to understand from your point of view, from the company's point of view, what was the reason behind choosing sector 80?
So 2-3 things. So when we were choosing the land, one thing, it was coming simple and cleanly in a government auction.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was one. Second bit of it is this is a completely new sector getting developed at a time when the markets are where they are. So एक चीज़ सेक्टर की बहुत अच्छी बात है, इधर nothing below a certain price point has been built. तो पूरा सेक्टर की जेंट्री एक अपस्केल जेंट्री होगी. तो एंड मेरा मानना है एड्रेसेस इन रियल एस्टेट गेट डिफाइंड बाय द जेंट्री. द लोकेशन में सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट क्या है, उस लोकेशन में
रहता कौन है.
ओके, really far away farmhouse areas of Delhi are very pricey. They have poor access, no social infrastructure, but they're very pricey just because of the kind of people who live there or who have chosen to live there. So I think one of the biggest thing in Sector 80 that will happen is that there is it's new gentry that's coming in, and third, the whole sector has been acquired by the government already. तो सड़कें बन जाएंगी, कोई ये नहीं होगा कि यार ये सड़क बनने में ये इतना सा पैच जो है वो अक्वायर नहीं हो पा रहा है, इंक्रोचमेंट है. सो पूरे के पूरे, सो इफ़ यू लुक एट कम to Arun, the sector road in front, I think it's a 30-meter road, if I'm correct. It's fully ready.
Yeah.
Not only that, utility lines have been getting laid even before really construction in that neighborhood has started. That advantage that the internal sector social infra will get developed because the government is doing this afresh. I think that was the other thought behind it. I think it's a very, very good micro sector. And the other thing great about Sector 80 itself, जितने भी developers हैं Sector 80 में सब top class के developers हैं. So you know, when I would say all developers are good developers, all of us will do a good job. So you know, when the buildings will come up, the way they will look, the way the sector will feel very good. Because you'll see good buildings around you because you know, they are all good developers in the sector, established long-term developers.
Even on Google Maps, if you see, Sector 80 is very different and neatly defined. Most of the development is more in a rectangular shape or like squarish, unlike others, क्योंकि सबने अलग-अलग owners से agricultural family से acquire किया होता है, तो there is problem of land title also, land dispute हो सकता है. But here that problem is taken care of because there's one authority, HSIIDC, which is taking care of that. Plus, you very rightly said, जितने भी developers हैं वहाँ पर top A class, right?
Yeah, they're all A grade.
Yeah, and additionally, what I also feel is कि वहाँ से अरावली का view बहुत amazing है. वहाँ से NSG Greens, Karma Lake Lands का view, even though it was already existing, but we get the benefit of it. कि uninterrupted views are always preferred. Additionally, आपको अंदर भी green area मिल रहा है because 9 acres of open space out of the 10.5 acres of land is really beautiful. But beyond that, you have the green views. I mean, that's the best site one can have.
Yeah, it is a very, very interesting location. I think it will be difficult in all of Gurgaon to replicate Sector 80. You know, it's just the time that it is come in, it's all microcosm location, the way it's getting structured, it's very, very interesting, and it would be hard to repeat it. So therefore, so much value there.
Interesting. So we've talked about the project, we've talked about the brand Ashiana, we've talked about the location as well. Let's jump back to Gurgaon real estate. You know, we've heard that how the market has been driven by flippers and traders, how there has been a short-term orientation. And I think that's part of any growing market. You know, you will always have speculators. That's one part of the market. And few of them would be stuck also because obviously they can't take easy exit. But if I have to ask you, one thing that you can change in the real estate industry of Gurgaon or Delhi NCR, or if you want to talk at a broader level also, what's one thing that you would like to change?
About the whole industry?
I mean, in case if you want to talk about Gurgaon, you can do that. If you want to talk at a developer's level.
I would just, I hope we could improve the overall infrastructure of the city, of how our overall built environment. I think if I could change the entire infrastructure around, I would like to do that if we can. But you know, it is what it is around. But that's what I would like.
Because that's the least the residents of a particular city deserve, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. You know. We should have better, we deserve better, and
we're paying taxes, we're paying development charges.
So we're paying taxes, we're paying development
registration charges.
So and fortunately that's what I said, sector and it's and I would say Sector 80 you would get that better because the government's ability to do this here, because they own the township, they've planned it in a different manner from day one. You would see that in Sector 80. And large other places there are we have our own challenges as a country, as a city, and hopefully, I would hope to see infrastructure improve overall in the city.
Interesting. And on a final note, I want to understand, since you've been into this profession and associated with Ashiana since 2008, right? You've worked on the concept of kid-centric housing for almost a decade. Any challenge that you must have faced, one challenge or challenges that you must have faced in the industry, and you thought, okay, we could have done without this, or, it could be red tapeism, it could be, some unsaid rules. What's one challenge here?
So the regulatory environment is a challenge. Multiple regulatory checks, multiple types of regulators. Some regulations also being very unclear, undefined. Haryana fortunately has, particularly the building code level, the policies are very sort of clear and specific. But if I would say the industry having more clear, more consistent, coherent regulations, because of the different regulators having different understanding of the same thing, also creates a little bit of a problem. So if I were to ask as an industry, is to ease the way regulation is done for the industry, and therefore we would spend less time managing regulations and more time
focusing on the project itself.
More time focusing on the project itself. I think that is one thing I hope would change and evolve over a bit.
And I think that's a pain point that every industry, every sector is facing, because then they're not able to focus on core activities because they have to manage certain departments, certain sectors. So it takes a lot of your effort and energy. I know it was the last question, but one final note. What does luxury means to you?
So to me,
because every other project is screaming luxury, and I also use the word luxury a lot. But what should be a luxury?
So it could mean different things to different people. I think to me, biggest luxury is freedom to do what I want to do. So luxury of spending time the way I want to spend my own time is my definition of luxury. So when people say luxury, I would say you'll buy that apartment, you'll buy that project, and will you be able to spend your time your way, and will you do things you love, or that is there. So to us, to me, that is an important piece. So let's say one thing I don't get living in Delhi and I wish I had was going out for a walk in the evening with my wife without thinking of traffic, without getting bothered. My daughter is taking out a cycle and driving on the street, will she get hurt? Not having that on the mind space. So different things could be different ways. I think one of the things that I would say to me, where Aaroham stands out as the biggest luxury, is that it will enable people to do things who truly love what they love to do. Okay, and I think that's more powerful and valuable than any stone you can put, any lights you can put, any architectural feature you can put. Is using your time.
So it's more internal. Peace of mind, like you said, when your daughter steps out on the road, you're not worried, because inside Aaroham, she'll have different places to go without, getting worried of being part of. It could be anything.
So and doing things what they love, right? If you like to play a particular sport, you play that sport. If you like going to the gym, you go to the gym. You like to read a book, you read a book. You like to just hang out with friends and and talk in a space which is open, free, without getting bothered by noise and pollution and stuff like that, or traffic. That's also a lot of, to me, which is very, very important. That said, the other type of luxury, that aesthetics, I think that's very important. that our home should look beautiful. They should look beautiful from outside. They should look beautiful from inside. The amenities should be also aesthetically pleasing. A lot of greenery. The right kind of plant should be put in. The right kind of material for, let's say, a badminton court should be used. The right quality of carpeting in furniture should be used in the reading area, because a good looking and aesthetically pleasing home makes a big difference.
Yeah, you would always want to come back.
You want to come back.
Yeah.
So to me also luxury is so one of the things that we want to be, to me, that we should be clear, and that's also within our design philosophy, I would say. You can have one luxury where you're making a statement, okay, and that statement is I've arrived.
Yeah.
I've become successful. So it's more about telling the outside world that you've become successful, and that is more of a status kind of a luxury that is associated. And then there is this luxury which doesn't speak status so much, or doesn't speak money as much, but it's aesthetically pleasing, it's rich, it's well done, it's solid, it's solid from inside.
Yeah.
Like I would say it's so beautifully done from inside that you don't need to put any makeup to make it look good from outside. And that's a space where you automatically just feel comfortable being in. You are in your own skin, there is no pretense left, and you are having a good time with yourself, with your family, with your friends, and there is just joy around.
Yeah.
I think to me that's the kind of luxury we want to do, which makes where you're building a home and not a hotel. Okay, and I think that's very very important. यार आप घर ले रहे हो, उससे बोर नहीं हो सकते. You are not buying a home for यार कि एक हफ्ते के लिए हम छुट्टी मनाने आए हैं, तो it's wonderful, but after a while it becomes problematic to
it doesn't
live there.
speak to you. Yeah, a home should look like a home, feel like a home.
Yeah. And it's the first instance, it's made for the residents to live in, and not to overawe. And that's how we are.
On this note, let's conclude this beautiful conversation that I just had with Mr. Gupta. And in case if you have any questions that we may have missed out, or any concept that you want to ask Mr. Gupta, feel free to drop your questions in the comment, and I'll be more than happy, rather he'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
amazing to have you here.
Thank you, Dipti. It was amazing to be here as well.